Hello everyone, Official Accountability here, back with another video. Hope everyone's having an amazing week, life, or whatever it is for you. I know things are pretty difficult here with the restrictions and constant changing of sex offender, ordinances and laws and stuff like that. But I just wanted to I started this page to let you guys know my journey and which countries that I've been to and what my process is going to those countries. But I've been reading the forums and the different YouTube pages, comments and stuff like that. And people are asking, they're saying, well, we know that Europe is allowing us in. And this is very true. You know, it does get pretty cliche. Europe does allow, people with our specific background to enter. So I did want to say that I set out on a journey to explore other countries that might let us in. All right. But first of all, let me start off by saying there is a WhatsApp group that I do have. If you're interested in joining that WhatsApp group, check out this email here. Send me an email, and we'll get your verification process started. Again, this is to ensure that you have an actual connection to the registry, and you're not some troll trying to jump in and gather information just to make life hell for us, even more than what it is. So please understand the process, and please understand that we want to be able to share information amongst each other that we don't want to share with typical people like law enforcement, right? Or any other individual who's going to cause conflict with us. So the email is right here on the screen. Send me an email and we'll get you verified and added to the group, all right? This is if you are interested in any sort of information that we might be able to share, all right? And these are experienced travelers just like myself. I've been to almost, 11 different countries, and yeah, I've become pretty well versed with what's going on and how to go around or move a certain way specifically, all right? So to those of you who have been following my videos, you know that I started a journey across Europe when I first left the US. I made my way to Poland, where I discovered that I had a medical condition. I had to go back to the US to seek treatment, but before I did that, I wanted to try my luck entering Thailand, and I was successfully admitted into Thailand. I didn't have any issues. It was just a really annoying process because at that time they had the Thai pass, and you had to get insurance, and you had to get a hotel that would pick you up from the airport and take you straight to the hotel and provide your meal and all. It was a really annoying process. You had to get tested in the country that you're coming from, and then when you get to Thailand, you had to get tested there again also, right? I mean, didn't really make any sense, but I eventually overcome that. I made my way out there to Thailand, and things were awesome. I fell in love with the place almost immediately. I stayed in Bangkok, where I met several other expats who were basically doing the same thing and experiencing life as it goes. They were working online. I work online as well. I found out a lot of intel as far as like how to move and do certain things. So when I went to Bangkok, I really enjoyed it. When I met these other individuals, we actually decided to fly to a different part of Thailand. And when we got to that part of Thailand, I fell in love with it even more. It was the beach scene, the live music scene. Just people were friendly. They were all over the world. I met a lot of individuals from Qatar, Kuwait, France, a lot of individuals who were also from the US, but these people were just travelers and they were going right back to the US, right? So you don't want to talk too much to those kind of individuals, but to say the least, they were definitely awesome individuals. Nobody had a thing to worry about as far as safety or crime or, sickness. And we were all just pretty much living life, enjoying our freedom as it came. And I really fell in love with Thailand, so much that I went back to the US to get my treatment. And let me correct myself. I went back to Poland to see my doctor that I was seeing in Poland. from Thailand. From Thailand back to Poland, and from Poland I went back to the U.S. And in the U.S., this is where I got my treatment that I had to get a clearance from my doctor in order to travel again. So when I got my clearance, I was right back over here immediately, almost probably like a month later, right? I mean, I don't know. It was probably like a month later. I booked my ticket immediately and I left America again, right? So I get back over to Europe just like as a buffer, to make sure I was okay with exiting the United States, and I wasn't going to have any issues when I landed in the other country, and stayed in Poland, Europe, of course, like that, and I ended up booking another ticket right back to Thailand again, just to see if the process was the same or different, or if they were going to cause me any conflict. So from Poland, I flew into Thailand again. The process was a lot easier this time because the Thai pass process was out of the door, right? They had completely eliminated that. It had went so much smoother, right? I landed in Thailand. They basically did the same thing that all other airports do. They check your passport, but this time they did do my fingerprints this time. Well, they did it the first time, but they're always going to do your fingerprints, take your photo. I don't think that they're really doing that with ill will intent, to try to filter out who they let in. I don't think they're really doing it for that purpose. I think that they're kind of keeping up who's coming in and who's going out, and them taking your fingerprints and your picture is a way to verify if you are the person that they have an issue with in their country, or if you're the person who overstayed a visa or whatnot, right? So I don't think that they're doing it for any ill will intent. Excuse my phone. Let me fast forward. I'm trying to turn my silencer off, my phone off. All right, so I decided to try another country. And right now I'm currently in Bali, Indonesia. There hasn't been any reports, and I made a bunch of, posts. I made a bunch of comments, asking with who's tried Indonesia or who's tried these other countries, since these other individuals are commenting, asking, well, what other countries can we go to? We don't know. Hey, okay. I'm here to try those countries. So I ended up trying Indonesia. And I will say this, when I left Thailand, I felt bad. I felt really bad. I felt like I wanted to stay. I just renewed my visa, and the visa process there in Thailand went very smooth as well. All right, it took less than 30 minutes. You give them your passport, you give them the currency, and you apply for the visa before your visa has already expired. All right, and I think it's like 500 baht per day, which is like around $15 a day that you overstay your visa in Thailand. You don't want to overstay your visa anywhere. Nowhere on earth do you want to overstay your visa. Comply with the laws and comply with what they want you to do. All right, I'm always going to suggest that. So anyway, I ended up booking a ticket to try another country in Asia. Mind you, this is regarding individuals who are not required to give a 21-day notice. All right, or let me correct myself. This is regarding individuals who are already out of the United States and no longer required to give the 21-day notice. If you have to give a 21-day notice while you're still in the U.S., you're not going to make it to either one of these countries. All right, it's just not going to happen. It's not a smart idea for you to even try it. All right, first of all, you're going to put a spotlight on not only yourself but the rest of us. Move smarter. Always tell the truth. If you go to any one of these countries and they ask about you, it's probably because they already know about you. So don't try to haggle the system or do or say anything stupid that's going to corrupt, that's going to kind of lower your chances of getting in. But when I left Thailand, I was pretty sick. I didn't want to leave. I made it to the airport and I was I was a little upset because I wanted to stay. You know, I met so many people who were just great people, and they were begging me to stay. Hey, stay. But I knew I kind of had a job to do, and I have a commitment to you guys to kind of show you guys my process as well. And if I stayed in the same country, then I really wouldn't, this channel wouldn't really be doing any justice or any sort of good. All right. So I decided to book this ticket to Bali, Indonesia, just to try, because I haven't seen any comments or anyone talk about entry. The day I got to the airport, we flew out. This was morning time. I ended up making it to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We did not go through immigration, only because since we're flying in international, it was really just a connecting flight. So we didn't really leave the terminal for us to even want to go through immigration. All right. So there's not going to be a visa stamp process with that. But I can only imagine that entering Malaysia, if I wanted to, would be very easy, right? Just show up, go through that process, and let them stamp your passport. They'll let you in quite easily. I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. So it was just a connecting flight in Malaysia, but when we left Malaysia, we flew into Bali. It was about a 3-hour flight. It went by smooth. You know, the person sitting next to me was a young lady who was basically the same. She had been living in Thailand for 6 years, and she was giving me all the info on Thailand. We ended up flying together. Luckily, we sat next to each other. We flew straight from the same airport in Thailand. We went to the same airport in Kuala Lumpur, and we just basically stuck together from Thailand all the way to Malaysia, all the way here to Bali, Indonesia. We did exchange contact information, stuff like that. But so we get here to Bali, Indonesia, Denpasar. Excuse me if I'm saying it incorrectly, but we get here to this airport, and it is a very annoying process. All right, I kind of felt like I was entering Thailand with that Thai pass process all over again. It was pretty annoying. You know, it was different, but it was annoying as hell. All right, we had to show our passports like 4 times just to get out the gate, and when we got out the gate, and like no one at the airport spoke any kind of English. It was, you know, I was pretty much using Google Translator the whole time I was there at the airport, and the Wi-Fi at the airport was so bad. You don't get no more than 3 minutes access each time. It'll boot you right back out, and then you have to create another account just to get internet access again. It was pretty brutal, right? But my goal was to get downstairs where the SIM card booth is, so I can purchase SIM card, of course, and have my plan active again. But you can't do that unless you clear immigration. So if you don't have a good Wi-Fi signal to be able to translate or use Google Translate, you kind of stuck, you know, unless that person speaks any sort of English, you're kind of stuck, all right? But the individual that I did get with the immigration in Bali, I did get an individual he wasn't the greatest in English, but he spoke enough to ask the questions that he needed to ask. You know, he asked me where I'm from, how long am I staying in Bali, what I plan on doing here in Bali. I answered his questions, and he also asked me if I had a return ticket. This is the kicker. They're going to ask you for your return ticket. Now, right there in front of them, I had to book a ticket somewhere else. So what I decided to do was look up I think I spent probably 5 minutes searching on this app that I use, which countries the cheapest to fly out to. So it ended up coming down to Manila, Philippines. So I just purchased a ticket there. I don't plan on flying in there, but I did purchase that ticket. And when I purchased that ticket, I showed him my itinerary. This is when he stamped my passport and he let me go. here's the other thing. Before I went to, this is still at passport control. I go to another section at passport control, and they ask me for a visa, and I'm like, from what I researched on your website says that we get 30 days free visa. She goes, no. Everyone has to pay for a visa. Everyone who flies through that airport still has to pay for a visa. They're still charging you for a visa, even though your passport has you visa-free access. I mean, I kind of got upset. You know, it was a $35 US dollar process that I kind of got upset about. You know, I was really upset. And not that $35 is a lot of money. It's not. But let's just say that I were on some sort of a budget and I didn't really have that kind of money to just throw out on random expenses like that. You're going to have an issue with that here in Bali. All right. So I went ahead and paid it. Of course, I've already arrived, so you kind of have to. You really don't have a choice. But just know that if you purchase a ticket to Bali or anywhere in Indonesia, they're going to still charge you a visa fee, even though you're visa free. It's crazy. I went ahead and paid it. I left the area, get downstairs, and I go to the. Of course, you have to exchange money because I was in Thailand previously. I exchanged my money into rupees, whatever they call it over here. They actually have a really good rate. You know, the currency still isn't worth much. Country is still pretty cheap. You know, once you exit the airport, you know, a bunch of scammers that you do have to look out for. I go get my SIM card finally. Now I have internet access. Now I have reliable internet access. I'm getting all these notifications pop up on my phone. You know, it's just, my phone was just going crazy. You know, and I'm checking emails and I'm trying to respond to everyone as quick as I can, and I can't really keep up with that because I still have to check out. I still have to leave the airport and make my way to my hotel. So here in Indonesia, they don't have Bolt. I know I told you guys in the last video, a few videos ago, apps to download. A lot of these countries use Bolt. Over here, they don't use Bolt. Over here, they use an app called Grab. Grab is similar to Bolt. Bolt is similar to Lyft, Uber, all those rideshare apps, right? They also have a taxi service. So I download Grab, I upload my information, I put in my card information, and I get quoted a price from the airport to my hotel. All right, which came out to 150,000 rupees. And what is this? Indonesian currency. I'm just gonna say that. I walk outside to try to wait for my taxi, and there's a taxi service already waiting outside. I'm like, okay, since they're already here, let me just cancel this one and use one of theirs. They say, okay. It's going to be 150. I show them that Grab app, and I'm like, they're quoting me this, so this is what I want to pay to get to my hotel. He says, okay. Takes my luggage over to his taxi, and this guy is taking his sweet ass time putting my luggage in. He's struggling, and I'm looking at him, and I'm going, oh my God, man, just move, let me do it, you know. Finally put everything in, we get in, and this guy, he's in his phone again, struggling to find information. I just gave him the address. I told him the hotel, I told him the address, and he's still struggling with information. All right, so I ended up just copying and pasting from the booking app, and I text him the address. I say, just take me here. He's like, okay. You know, this individual turns around to me after he put everything in, and after spending 15 minutes looking through his phone for the address of the correct hotel, this dude turns around and looks at me and he says, it's gonna be 200,000 rupees. I'm like, what? You totally just told me 150,000, and I showed you the Grab app. He says, well, there's a $50,000 rupee parking fee. So he's charging me for a parking fee that I didn't ask. It's not like he was sitting there waiting on me. You know what I'm saying? He's charging me for a parking fee that is his responsibility. I got upset. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? We'll just take my stuff back out of the back, and I'll just walk back to the front and wait for my Grab. All right. Maybe someone's gonna drive up here instead of trying to hit me with a parking fee that you're trying to make me pay. You know, and this is I felt like I was being scammed all over again with the whole visa fee, stuff like that. After my U.S. passport says that I have visa-free access, they're still charging me, and now I'm downstairs and this guy's charging me extra money after he told me a rate already. I felt I was being scammed all over again. So I decided, no, I was just going to take my loss and go back and wait for the cab to come pick me up. And now when I do that, now he wants to change his mind and say, oh, no. Well, okay, 150,000. Right, yeah, well, you should have said that in the first place. All right. Anyway. So even after all of that, we've been very successful. I've been very successful getting in. It was just, despite that annoying ass process, all right, they make you fill out this, when you're in the airport, I couldn't get the actual copy of the declaration form because it was on paper, and when you turn it in, they take it from you. I wasn't thinking to get a picture of the declaration form here. But even if you don't have anything to declare, they still make you go through that process. You still have to fill the form out, answer the questions, even if you don't have anything to declare. All right. And I have it here. I'll just read it since you can't really see it clearly on the screen. And this is the customs declaration form. And it's asking you for your name, your date of birth, occupation, nationality, passport number, your address in Indonesia. So wherever you're staying, you got to put your address down. It's asking for your flight, voyage number, date of arrival, number of baggage. It's asking for number of family members traveling with you. And they're asking you, are you bringing any animals, narcotics, currency above a certain amount, foreign banknotes, more than 200 cigarettes or 25 cigars, 100 grams of sliced tobacco, and 1 liter of alcoholic beverage. Goods purchased obtained abroad and will remain in Indonesia with a value of $50 per person. Wow, I didn't see that question, but I checked no anyway. Or $500 per person. This is also saying imported goods that are not considered as personal effect. It did ask me about personal medications, right? But this is when I got to the counter for the declaration form. So I got to the counter. They did ask me about my medication because, again, I had my medical condition, and my doctor gave me medicine to travel with for 3 months. So after that's used up, I have to go back and re-up. So I had to let them look at it and search and determine, of course, it was not narcotics. And she takes one of my pills out and she opens it and tests it, of course, like that. And I kind of got pissed off, because that's for my health. I need that, I kind of got pissed. It was only one pill, but that's one day. That's one day of no medication. You don't do that to people. And it was also with the second medication that she did as well. She took 2 different medications for one day from me. And I kind of got annoyed with that. But if this is the process, and I'm always going to say it, man, when you're entering another country, you got to play by their rules, even if you don't like it, man. It's really a no-brainer, you know. Just think of it like someone's knocking on your door and they want to come inside of your house. You're going to have rules. You're going to have stipulations for that individual to abide by before you allow that person to enter your house. Most of which you might say, hell no, I don't want you in my house. I mean, if you know me personally, I'm also a homeowner. I own a couple of properties, and there are people that I personally will not rent to, and it's not out of discrimination, all right? I just want to make sure that my property is going to be well kept, and I'm not going to have any issues with that individual staying at one of my properties. This is the same thing when you go to another country and they have the right to refuse you or let you in. Now, there's been people who say that they have been denied entry to these very same countries that are letting me in willingly. I have not had any issues with either one of these countries that these other individuals are getting denied entry in. And part of which I think is because of the way that you represent yourself when you show up to the port of entry in any country you go to. If you make yourself stand out or look like someone who they need to worry about, they're not going to let you in, right? Just show up, do what they're telling you to do, fill out all the forms, give them all the information they need, and go on about your business. Don't show up to the port of entry and run your mouth about shit you don't have any business running your mouth about, all right? If they are concerned with your background, they will ask you about it. And when they do ask you about it, tell the truth. Don't make up no story. Don't lie, all right? And definitely don't leave out any information. They're going to figure it out. And when they do figure it out, they're going to put you on a plane and send you back to America. You're going to lose thousands of dollars because you want to be ignorant. I'm just putting that out there. I want to try not to give you any advice or try to sway you. I know my voice and my tone can sound pretty persuasive at times, but I'm just, again, I don't want to sound rude in any sort of way. I just want to let you guys know that if you do these things, they are going to deny you entry, and you have to understand that. These countries are not your country. They're not your countries. So you have to play by their rules if you're outside of America. You see, in America, you can still protest. You can be like, no, you can push back a little bit. When you enter another country, you don't have any sort of pushback. You either abide or they put you on a plane and send you away. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to take you through my journey. Of course, there's a lot more information that I didn't add into this video because I'd be talking for almost 4 hours. Like I said, I do have the WhatsApp group, and email is on the screen. So if you want to join, send me an email and we'll go through the process about how I can get you added into that group. But that's pretty much it for me. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave anything in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer as soon as I can. Also keep in mind that if you're still in the U.S., a lot of us are overseas, so we're on different time zones, all right? When you're wide awake, I'm going to be dead asleep. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it just is what it is. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Reach out to me if you have any questions, all right? Peace.